Hi guys, welcome back to the debate hut. We are here with another debate, funnily enough. This one is a Marvel debate. We are debating. Oh my god, take a shot every time I've said debate, please. This is now a drinking game. Enjoy, guys. So we are debating from the MCU phase 1 to 3 who had the saddest death. I believe Emily is going to start us off. But before she does, leave us a comment below. Who do you think the saddest death is in the MCU from those phases? Give us the reasons. Who would be the second? Do you agree with any of us once we've said these? Do you disagree? Let us know. Like, subscribe, and what other debates do you want us to see? Emily, if you would like to take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, also make sure to check out our top 10 saddest MCU deaths short that me and Grace did. But yeah, so I'm just going to do my top 10 and then I'll split it into just three because I just felt like there was a lot of deaths from phase 1 to phase 3. So,
Everyone has.
so I'm going to go from least to most saddest. So least at number 10 is Frigga from Thor: The Dark World. Now, like, I don't know if it's just about the character, but I think it was like the whole way that the death scene like played out, and then the soundtrack when she was like having a funeral procession. So that's why I put her at 10th. Ninth was Howard Stark and Maria Stark. I think it was just the fact that Bucky was literally just pummeling them to death, and you could see like Tony was literally tearing up, and he was really in pain. Eighth one, Black Widow. Again, like it was that, like, it was either going to be Hawkeye or Black Widow. And whilst like I've liked Black Widow, but she's not like one of my most favorite characters from the MCU. That's personally, she's not. Sorry, Grace. She's personally not. But her death was just really sad because she literally just sacrificed herself for her best friend and for the entire universe. And then Meredith Quill at 7th, I think we're 7th. So that's Star-Lord's mother. It was just that scene at the beginning, like Guardians of the Galaxy just began with that scene of her dying, and she's like, "Take my hand, Peter," and he's like, "No," and he turns away, and then all of a sudden, she's dead, and like, oh, that moment, like, oh. The next one is Groot, another death in the same movie. He sacrifices himself for all of them, and you can see like how much Rocket and Groot have that close relationship. You can see Rocket's like, "No, Groot, you can't," and like Groot goes, "We are Groot." Yeah, King T'Chaka at 5th. So again, not a character we really even got to know that well, but just seeing Black Panther, T'Challa's like reaction to seeing his father dead and like, him rocking him on the floor, like that's just really like ingrained in my head. And then Loki, I mean, he died a lot. He died so many times, for that final death, he like literally sacrificed himself for Thor. And yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievable that he actually died then. Iron Man and Yondu and Gamora are from 3 to 1, Gamora at the top. So I'm just going to go through them a bit more. So Iron Man for me, I think we summed that up nicely in the Captain America should have died instead of Iron Man debate. So I'm not going to spend too long on it. But Iron Man shouldn't have died. That's basically, like, he's already a hero. He has a family. But, Iron Man does end up sacrificing himself, and he used the gauntlet and snaps to get rid of Thanos and his army. And it was definitely one of the ways to like send off such an amazing character, but it's not what I personally would have picked and wanted. And then there's also that funeral scene at the end, and that everybody's there, and then the message he also left for Pepper and Morgan. It was like, it's really sad. Like Endgame, you would think like, they won, like it would be such a happy feeling, but at the end, it's so sad. Like you left off with Infinity War, and you've got Thor, he's lost everything. And then you've got Iron Man is like up there, and he's like so sad after losing Spider-Man, and you've got like all of these other characters, like Rocket has lost Groot again. Like you've got all of these characters and they've lost everybody, but then you have Endgame, and that's also ended on such a sad note. But yeah, it was just sad. Like this character like started the entire MCU, and then he dies at the end of the Infinity Saga. Like, he should have just retired. So my second one is Yondu. I remember watching the scene in the cinema and I actually cried. I think that was the first MCU movie that I actually cried, I think. And I mean, we saw in the first movie, that Peter and Yondu, they had that love-hate relationship. But when it really came to it, they like wouldn't do anything to harm the other. They really respected each other and, saw them as like strong friends, strong buddies, like there was a strong relationship. And then we get to volume 2 and we see that Peter's met his dad, who is a horrible, 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 horrible person. And you should check out our who is the best MCU Phase 1 to Phase 3 villain debate as well. We've done so many debates on this stuff. But Peter finally understands that Yondu was more of a father figure to him than anything. It's just that scene was just so cute. Like he was his actual dad, and Yondu realizes that too. Like they realize it at the same time. He's like, he may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your dad. And then Yondu saves Peter, but to save him, he ends up sacrificing himself. Like everybody seems to just end up sacrificing themselves. And I feel like there's no better way of showing a father-son relationship than that. Like the ultimate sacrifice for your own kid. And it was just the fact that, they finally realized that they were father and son. And that is when Peter lost Yondu. That was the last time. They weren't able to just live out their relationship and see what happened. And then also that ending with Peter listening to Cat Stevens' like father and son song, and he's like thinking about Yondu, and they've got the whole funeral thing and stuff. Like, I see another way to end off the movie, another sad ending. Right? And my top is Gamora. So what made this one sad was that she was actually willing to sacrifice herself. So I don't know if you remember, Gamora asked Star-Lord to like kill her, and she made him promise. And then the Guardians, they met on Nowhere, and Star-Lord tries to kill her to fulfill her wish, but Thanos used the Reality Stone, and then he kidnaps her, takes her to Voromir for the Soul Stone, and he ends up sacrificing the person he loves the most. And you can see how upset Thanos is, because he's literally tearing up, and she goes like, "Tears for me," or something like that. Something I can't remember. But he knows that he loves her, but she doesn't know that. And he still ends up just killing her because his mission is obviously more important than his daughter and the person he loves the most. And it was just Gamora's pure shock that he's actually willing to do it. And I'm pretty sure she goes like, "This is not love," and something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess the fact is that she didn't want to sacrifice herself so that he could get a stone. She was honestly willing to do anything to stop him in his mission. And she even tries to kill herself again when she realizes that he actually just wants to chuck her off the cliff. And that was the last time we saw Gamora. She never got to dance with Peter again. They were literally just getting together. Like volume 2 was literally just solidifying their relationship. And then we see Infinity War, and we see Peter getting jealous over Gamora and Thor, and we see that. And then she makes him promise and all of that, and and then the score in the background as well, like it's amazing. It really complements the scene and it fits the mood. It's like called Even For You, because he's like, "Even for you, won't deny my destiny," or something. But yeah, those are my top 3 saddest stats with Gamora at the top.
Wow,
Made me relive all of those experiences. No, my heart kind of had to.
Yeah, that was. It's pretty hard to look back and see how much they evolve.
We are in a very traumatic fan base. Why does everyone die such traumatic, horrible deaths? And in every film, someone's gone, someone dies. We can't have attachments in this fan base.
No. I gotta be honest, I didn't write a list. I just wrote down who I thought was just, yeah. So for me, it's 2 people, and so it's Tony and Natasha. While the other deaths are traumatic as well, I personally didn't have any attachment to some of them. Gamora was definitely pretty sad, but I wasn't very attached to her, or Yondu. No offense, Emily. Natasha, I really loved because she was such a great hero. She was one of the big six, and it's just a shame they cut her off. And we all knew that someone had to sacrifice something when Clint and Natasha went to retrieve the Soul Stone. So it was very traumatic to watch her die, because there was so much of her that we wanted to see more. And she had a very hard life, and she was getting a better life with Shield and her new team, so it was really hard. And again, Tony, like what Emily said, check out our debate about Captain America should have died instead of Iron Man. Tony had everything. He had a daughter, he had a wife, he had a great life after the Infinity War. And to watch him lose it all again, I mean, lose everything, it was really heartbreaking. He didn't just die straight away. He was slowly like dying. He was just sitting down. You could just see him like losing himself. Like we could just see him like slowly like going away, and that was so hard. Like people just, I remember in the audience watching this, and we could hear someone in the audience saying like, don't go," and it was like, it was just really hard. So yeah, I think Natasha and Tony had the saddest death throughout the MCU from phase 1 to phase 3.
Okay, so bringing up not my list, but just a couple of people I could think of. I think we all have a running theme with picking Tony on that list. So even if we can't agree with all the other ones, I feel like he may be the final result, and that is okay with me because his death was very traumatic, and I feel like I lived through it again when Grace was just explaining it then. A couple of other people that were on my list was obviously Loki. We had seen that poor man die about 1,000 times over. Is he dead? Who knows? My hope keeps getting brought back alive and then crushed again, and then it's too much. But the last death was him finally being one within himself, if that made sense. He was finally kind of happy on the right path. He was with Thor, they were working together, and then that got taken away from him before he could actually start living life as he wanted. Another one being Yondu, obviously agreeing with you up there, Emily. Heartbreaking scene, but just the whole memorial like thing in outer space, everyone coming to one to like remember him and everything like that. Heartbreaking. And then someone who hasn't been mentioned, I didn't think would be mentioned, but Vision. When Wanda had to, I feel like it was more Wanda's response to Vision dying than actually Vision dying, but her giving up her last thing she had left as like proper family, as someone she loved. She lost everyone else, and her having to kill him only for him to then be brought back to life and murdered in front of her.
That was really awful. Yeah,
I think we all understand why she went on a bit of a mad one. That poor girl's been through a lot of trauma. But yeah, those were, I guess, my top 4 in a way. But I think we found a running theme in all of ours that Tony was up there on the top of the list.
And then second was Yondu.
Technically,
none taken.
Are we all happy with Tony then Yondu?
Yeah.
Third?
We feel like Natasha third.
I feel like Natasha was third, yeah, because you both said Natasha. Okay, so most traumatic death, upsetting, Tony. Then second we've got Yondu, and third is Natasha.
Yeah.
With that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's that's today's debate or discussion, guys. Thanks again. Thank you again for watching. Really appreciate it. Before you leave, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below on your thoughts on who had the saddest death throughout phase 1 and phase 3. Tell us who and why. And you can check out other Marvel debates we've done. Recently we've done who should have been the next leader for Avengers. We've also done who's the best Spider-Man. Some of us have said Tobey Maguire, some of us says Andrew Garfield, and someone says Tom Holland. So you can watch them all. And check out our website, tells information about us as the team and tells you information about some of the videos we've done. Check out our social accounts. We've done Instagram and Twitter. If you follow us, we will definitely follow you back. That's a promise. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.